Welcome to the Deep Dive. We peel back the layers on complex stories to give you the insights you really need. Today, we're diving deep into something that's, well, it's more than just headlines. It's massively disrupting lives. I'm talking about the Air Canada flight attendant strike. It's pretty dramatic. We're seeing this highly unusual defiance of a federal back-to-work order.
Yeah.
And the chaos for travelers, families trying to get on holiday, business trips up in the air. It's huge. So our mission today, dig through the recent news, pull out the most important bits to understand what's going on, why it's so legally messy, and, what it all means for you.
Exactly. And right at the heart of it is CUPE, the Canadian Union of Public Employees. They represent about 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants, and they are openly defying a ruling from the Canada Industrial Relations Board, the CRE.
Right, the Federal Labor Relations Body.
Yeah, and the CIRB called the strike unlawful. So this isn't just saying no, it's a direct challenge, really, to a federal directive. You don't see this kind of confrontation often.
Unprecedented, almost.
Yeah, pretty much. And the immediate fallout. Air Canada's already saying 500,000 customer flights canceled. Just like that.
500,000. Wow. That's not just a statistic, is it? It's a massive logistical headache.
Absolutely. Affecting real people.
And what really makes this stand out is the union's resolve, their determination. We heard the CUPE national president, Mark Hancock, basically say, look, if people like him have to go to jail, so be it. If the union gets fined, so be it.
Strong words.
That's not your usual labor dispute talk, is it? This feels like it's gone way beyond just contract terms. It's become this high-stakes legal showdown.
Definitely testing the limits of federal labor law and union power.
So that's what we'll break down. Who's involved? What are the actual sticking points in the talks? And some of the surprising twists that make this, well, kind of landmark event in Canadian labor history.
Okay, so the defiance is clear, but maybe walk us through how we actually got to this point, this extraordinary standoff.
Sure. Well, the strike kicked off early Saturday morning.
And then, less than 12 hours later, Ottawa stepped in. Patty Hodgdu, the federal jobs minister, used Section 107 of the Canada Labor Code.
Section 107.
Yes,
that's the big one, right? The government tool for critical situations.
Exactly. It's meant to force a quick resolution, usually when something's deemed vital to the national interest. She asked the CIB to push them into binding arbitration and, crucially, order them back to work immediately to maintain or secure industrial peace, as the code puts it.
But the union, they just ignored that back-to-work part.
Explicitly ignored it, yes. Which is, fascinating. Not just how fast the government acted, but the union's reaction. Just straight-up defiance. Then the CIRB decision came down Monday morning. Jennifer Webster, the vice chairperson, was very clear.
What did it say exactly?
It ordered the union to cease all activities that declare or authorize an unlawful strike and told them to get members back to work by noon Monday. And it told the flight attendants themselves to resume duties immediately.
And failure to comply, that means fines, penalties.
Oh yeah, significant ones potentially. But Mark Hancock, CUPE's president, he just doubled down, said they'll stay on strike. He put it as, we're looking for a solution here, but that solution has to be found at a bargaining table.
Wow, okay. So with all this disruption, this defiance, what's the actual fallout? For Air Canada, and maybe more importantly, for passengers caught in the middle.
Well, Air Canada's CEO, Michael Rousseau, called the union's stance disappointing. He'd hoped to get flights running again Tuesday, but obviously that got pushed back.
Right.
And financially, the airline suspended its guidance for Q3 and the full year because of the stoppage. That's a serious impact.
And for passengers, I imagine it's chaos.
Total chaos for many. Air Canada is offering full refunds or rebooking, even trying to get people onto competitor airlines. You hear these stories, like one woman trying to get to Portugal for her honeymoon. She said, "We haven't slept, we've been calling, we're tired."
Ugh. Yeah, that really brings it home, doesn't it? Puts a human face on these big legal and corporate battles.
It really does. Which brings us to the core question, maybe. What issues are so fundamental that they're driving this level of defiance, this willingness to push right up against the law?
What are they fighting for so hard?
Okay, so Air Canada and CUPE have been trying to negotiate a new contract since March, when their old 10-year deal ran out. The two main sticking points seem to be general wages, which is pretty standard, and this other thing they call ground pay.
Ground pay. Tell me more about that. What does that actually involve?
So CUPE argues that under the current system, flight attendants don't get paid for a lot of the work they do before takeoff and after landing.
Like what kind of work?
Things like safety checks, pre-flight briefings, helping passengers board, dealing with issues during boarding, assisting people when they deplane, all that time on the ground. They say it's unpaid work right now.
Okay, that context is crucial. It often gets lost in just saying wages. So what's the specific demand around this ground pay?
CUPE wants that ground work paid at 100% of the flight attendant's normal hourly rate. Full pay for that time.
And Air Canada's position?
Air Canada made a public offer that included ground pay at 50% of the hourly rate.
50%, okay.
And that was alongside an 8% hourly wage increase in the first year, plus another potential 4 to 8% bump linked to this new ground pay formula.
So Air Canada did offer something on ground pay, just not the full 100%.
Right. They suggested their proposal would mean senior flight attendants could earn around $87,000 a year on average by 2027.
So it's not just a simple demand for more money. It's about changing how their work is even defined, right? Turning those unpaid prep tasks into paid labor.
Exactly. It's a fight over the fundamental value of their time and effort on the ground, not just in the air. And that could set a huge precedent, not just for airlines, but maybe other service jobs too.
That makes the intensity make a bit more sense. It's structural.
It is. And connecting this to the bigger picture, the union isn't just defying the CIRB order. They're actually accusing the Liberal government of, quote, rewarding Air Canada's refusal to negotiate fairly.
Okay, that's a strong accusation.
And there's more. They've pointed to what they call a staggering conflict of interest.
A conflict of interest? Where?
Involving the chair of the CIB itself, Mary Tremblay. Apparently, she was legal counsel for Air Canada for about 6 years, from 1998 to 2004.
Wow. Okay, if that's accurate, that does raise questions, doesn't it? The CIRB is supposed to be this independent tribunal.
Precisely. And other unions have jumped in, arguing the CIRB hasn't been acting independently here, and they're questioning the government even using Section 107 in this case.
So it's not just CUPE feeling this way?
No, the Canadian Labour Congress, which represents, a huge swath of Canadian unions, called Minister Hajdou's intervention an unconstitutional attack on workers' rights.
Unconstitutional. Strong language again.
Very. They've voiced unanimous support for the flight attendants. There's even talk of potential fight-back campaigns and helping CUPE with legal costs.
Is there any precedent for this kind of solidarity, maybe forcing a government's hand?
Well, Mark Hancock himself brought up a situation back in 2022. Remember the Ontario education workers' strike?
Vaguely, yes. CUPE was involved there too.
Right. The Ontario government legislated them back to work, but faced such widespread union backlash, including threats of broader walkouts, that the government actually had to back down and repeal the legislation.
So there's a recent example of this kind of pressure working. Interesting.
Now, on the flip side, you have the employers' groups.
Right, what's their take?
Well, FTCO, that's the Federally Regulated Employers in Transportation and Communications, basically the lobby group for airlines, rail, etc., they've slammed CUPE's actions.
What did they say?
Their president, Daniel Safayeni, called it a reckless path. Said it erodes trust in the labor relations system, weakens our global reputation, and undermines economic stability.
Okay, so a really clear divide then. Unions backing CUPE, seeing it as defending workers' rights and fighting for fair valuation of work, and employer groups condemning the defiance, worried it's wrecking the whole system.
That's the core tension right now.
So let's try to wrap this up for the listener. What does this all really mean moving forward? For you listening, and maybe for how labor relations work in Canada, we've seen a union taking an incredibly firm stand, like really firm, despite facing potential jail time, serious fines.
Driven by these fundamental issues, that ground pay concept, general wages.
We've heard Air Canada's side, the financial hit, the efforts to manage the chaos, the government trying to impose peace.
And that staggering number, 500,000 canceled flights, it keeps coming back.
And then there's the wider labor movement rallying behind them, while employers sound the alarm about systemic damage.
Yeah, and connecting that to the bigger landscape, this whole situation really throws a spotlight on those deep disagreements about how independent the CRB really is and whether government intervention like Section 107 is appropriate.
Especially with that conflict of interest accusation hanging over the CRB chair.
Exactly. That plus the strong pushback from other major unions. It suggests a real deep frustration with the current setup. And you have to wonder what kind of precedent this sets, right? If CUPE succeeds here, or even just holds out this long defying an order, could it embolden other unions and federal sectors to do the same down the road?
A really crucial point. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is this. When you see a union willing to risk jail, risk massive fines, and hint at even wider strikes, what does that tell us about the power dynamics right now between unions, big corporations like Air Canada, and the government bodies meant to oversee it all in these critical industries?
Yeah.
How could this one very unusual strike actually reshape industrial peace in Canada? Redefine what unlawful defiance looks like in practice?
It certainly feels like we're watching something significant unfold.
Absolutely. It's a stark reminder that the fight for what constitutes fair labor practice is constantly evolving, and the ripples from this could be felt for years. Definitely something to keep watching.